Hi, I'm Annie.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're
Overcommitted.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
How are we doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. I told our kids tonight that we needed to read some books about touching bodies. And then our kids yelled, I'll admit it wasn't the best way to phrase it.
Oh, okay.
And then our kids yelled, yay, we're going to touch our bodies.
Great. Good.
So I think I'm doing a great job as a mom.
When they said, no, I don't want to watch these books, and you said, you have to.
They don't want to watch these books?
I don't want to read these books.
Uh-huh.
I said, no, I don't want to read these books. And you're like, you have to.
No, they wanted to read them. They were very interested.
Ooh.
And then we read them, and it was just okay. I think I was hoping... I bought these books
What do you mean they were just okay? Like the story didn't hook you? The characters weren't relatable?
I bought this story set off of TikTok Shop.
Oh, nothing goes wrong there.
I've seen it a few times, and it's come across. And then the other day, I was having some conversations with our kids, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've done a good enough job, specifically with our youngest, at preparing. I should buy those books. And I bought those books. And they were fine. They're just a little bit... I think they're just a little rudimentary, if that's the word. I was hoping for a book to, like, have the conversation instead of start the conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh, do all the work for you.
Yeah, like most of the work could be done in the book form. And then I could just be available for questions afterwards.
It says who the author is, right?
Yeah.
You should probably find them on Cameo.
And be like, can you explain
the rest? The rest of this? Here's your $35.
You were a little vague, honestly, and I need a little bit more spelled out for me. She's like, you sound like a grown woman. It's not for me, it's for my kids. But also, I do have some questions.
I'm confused with the candy thing.
I was raised in a pretty fundamentalist
What was your sex
area.
education? Tell me now.
I didn't have much. I mean, I think my mom had a little bit of a talk with me. We took a...
You don't remember that talk?
No.
Like,
we watched a film in fourth grade. That was the biggest thing. Is I think once you're in fourth grade, you have to watch a film every year, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. I remember that being a very big thing because growing up, everyone calls it the film. Have you seen the film yet? And I'd be like, what?
Oh.
What? And then when you get the age, you watch the film. And I want to say it progressed. Like fourth grade was more about like body odor and body hair and like starting to develop. And then fifth and sixth grade talked a little bit more about like...
Yeah.
But I mean, it was Oklahoma, so it was probably really like...
Not great.
Not great.
Sure.
Not specific.
Oh, you want some details. You wanted every year after the video to end and go, oh, I can't believe we have to wait another year for the next episode.
What's the next part? Tell us what happens.
Is he going to marry her or not?
That's probably what it was in Oklahoma. It's probably like when a woman and a man get married in front of God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they want to only make children, not have fun because they had a bottle of wine at dinner.
Uh-huh.
I remember I maybe talked about it on this podcast before.
Yeah.
Someone asked me if I was a virgin in third grade.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they all were. But it was one of those things where kids just like were having fun with a word. And all I thought was, well, the Virgin Mary is a virgin. Everybody likes her.
Classic
So I
Catholic.
said yes, which is really arrogant of me. If you don't know what that word means and you know she's like highly regarded and
I'm probably
worshipped.
just like her.
Probably, yeah. Yes, I'm the same as her.
Yeah.
Samesies.
You know what? I'm probably a double virgin. I'm better.
Yeah, I'm probably better. I'm taller.
In third grade.
But then I had asked my dad that, and I will never... It's so funny how vividly I remember asking him that. And as a father now myself, how horrified I am that I asked him that. I mean, it's fine. It's what kids do. They ask
You
questions.
have to ask.
You got to ask.
You want them to ask you.
We were coming back from karate. And I just remember being like, what's a virgin? And like, what a nightmare. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just as a parent, perspective, looking back, like he is just kind of like, this dork has watched Independence Day every day for a week now. I wonder if what's a what? I don't remember if my parents, sorry, mom and dad, if they had talked to me, but then they showed us a video that we watched with them.
They also showed you video.
Well, we didn't.
Just like me. They want the work done for them.
We didn't watch the video in school. We watched like a video of like, here's all the STDs you could get.
Yeah, I'm sure that was part of ours too.
And those were wild. I get it. They were going scared straight in school. But the video my parents had us watch was a cartoon. And then when it got to the sex part, which you're glad because it would be pornography if it wasn't, it just showed like they got under covers and covers started going up and down. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, if you're getting to the part the whole thing is about, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what everyone thought happened. You just get on the covers and
Start
the
moving.
covers start moving around.
Stuff happened.
I remember being in an assembly once with a woman who, like, I think got up and was like, I have severe genital herpes.
Man.
And it was like definitely one of those where, you know, she told us to explain to us, but I remember being like, God, what a job, you know?
She one day
You're doing a
was
great
like,
job for the youth of America, letting us know about STDs, but also, like, that's what you got to go do every day.
she was like, I am. Sears closed down again. I'm out of work again. When will I ever find a? Well, hold on. I'll check the boxes on this one. What a job. What a thought. But yeah, we have to have that talk now. And when we find out, we've been very open with our kids about these conversations.
I just try to say stuff all the time. You always look at me horrified every time I throw something out at random, but I try to just make it very much part of the dialogue, you know?
No.
And try to answer questions when they come, as you know, just...
Well, yeah, I do too. I don't bother me with such things.
I feel like you get pretty vague.
Huh? Name one.
Last week when they were like, what's necking? And you were like, ask your mother.
Ask your mother, I'm reading the paper. When do they ask what necking is?
I don't know.
What 19?
I already said genital herpes on the podcast.
Were you
so
letting
I was
them
trying
watch
to make
Grease
it.
too or something? It's so funny how a lot of parents get like angry about schools teaching sex ed. They think it's something parents should do at home. And the schools are just like, you guys are doing a really bad job at it, so we're just going to do it, which I think is funny. And when our daughter came home and said that her teacher had talked to her about...
I thought that one was funny only because I was a little surprised the school didn't like warn us.
Sure.
If for no other reason than like if we had known the day it was happening, it's a good day to like, did you have any questions when they got home, you know?
I think our daughter worded it as if she got pulled at first.
She did.
Like she on her own got pulled aside by the teacher
to
talk about periods. No. It was that she said the teacher pulled me aside into the women's bathroom and I went, oh no, what happened?
What teacher? Why?
What teacher?
Who?
When?
Yeah, we got very like,
oh no.
What happened?
And she's like, talk to me about periods. And I was like, what?
Why?
Yeah, she brought all the girls in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
And it was funny because their first instinct is like, I understood where those parents get their hesitancy from. Like, what do you mean she talked to you about that? And then I immediately was like, great.
Yeah.
Can we add some?
I don't think I had that at all, but I did have the initial like, wait a minute, you were the only person that got pulled into the bathroom by a teacher. Which teacher was this?
Yeah.
And then she explained it more, and I was like, oh, that's great. I'm glad that that's happening.
I feel like our kids a bunch of times, and I don't think it's our kids' fault. I think it's our fault. We're overly aware, as all our whole generation of parents are, of fears of the internet. Because I feel like that's not the first time our child has like said a very what's seemingly a normal sentence. We're like, what do you mean that happened?
Oh, yeah.
And then it just turns out to be nothing. We're like, I'm stressed out all of the time.
Yeah.
Speaking of awkward, I had a thought recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you have an example. You and I took improv classes in New York. We did stand up.
Mm-hmm. We are very funny.
Very funny.
Trained and funny.
I mean more about like the going on stage, and I mean you did theater in college and you've done
I've lost all that.
But like it's so funny how I feel like in our 20s I wouldn't have been as awkward. I don't know if it's being a parent. I don't know if it's a pandemic. I don't know if it's all of it.
Awkward where? How? When?
Just whenever I'm around other adults,
oh.
and specifically parents.
Yeah.
In a situation where it's like I might have nothing in common with you.
Yeah.
I try to, like when I went on tour, I like meeting people.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time they walk away, I go, that was disappointing for them.
Oh, I had a horrible interaction at the gym the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, a man was like, he came into the weight room. I was the only one in there. He's like a big tough guy. I think he was maybe trying to make me feel at ease, which is very kind of him.
Was he trying to hug you weird?
No, I think he was just like, it's a little room, and I just like came in. I'm this big guy. I don't know. He was like, out of nowhere, he just kind of went, good morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? And he was like, good morning. Sorry, I usually try to say good morning. My name's Adam.
You try to say your name's Adam?
I try to say good morning. I think he's apologizing because he'd already entered and sat down.
He feels like he missed a window, so he had to
missed
apologize
the window,
for
so he was
it.
apologizing for not saying it right away. And I was like, oh, Yeah, I never talk to people.
That's what you said? Oh, no. He must have wanted to die inside.
And I was like, sorry, I get standoffish sometimes. Hi. Never said my name. And then he went, I feel like there's like a smell in here, huh? And I went, is it me?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I know. And every time I said something, the inside of my brain was like, you are so weird and stupid. And he was like, no. I think it's like the fan or something. It was like the motor maybe. And I was like, right. Yeah, I was just kidding.
You just didn't stop?
That was the end.
He just kind of mumbled off.
Yeah. And then, I was about to leave, but then I was like, well, I can't leave now. I have to give it at least a few more minutes in here.
Yeah.
So I did an extra set of something, like a full, like 3 extra sets. I did a different new exercise just to make sure he knew I wasn't leaving on his account. And then,
or on yours.
And then he left, and then he was like lifting as I was leaving, and I gave him like a peace sign. Peace sign has really become my thing lately.
Peace sign?
Yeah, I do it a lot to people, especially at the gym.
Like that?
Like if I'm like saying goodbye to...
Well, which one do you do?
Both.
That's 2 different ones.
I think if you're far, I do it
palm
turn
out.
to wrist. If you're like far away, like you're on the elliptical or something.
It's like a wave.
Yeah, but if you're near, I do it. Is that dorky? Oh no, am I dork?
No, I think you're cool. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I guess that's not saying we're dorky.
I know.
I
have a couple of gym buddies of people that I see at the gym. I don't really talk to, but we always say hello. I always make sure when I'm leaving to like give them a big, piece.
Throw it up. Throw up the piece, man. Peace. Don't watch that garbage fox.
If I
news
wave,
up there.
it gets you gotta worry that you're like doing too much with the wave. So
I had an interaction today. I wasn't even bringing up the awkwardness for that reason, but you brought up the gym. I had an awkward interaction today at the gym as well.
Oh, yeah?
There's a guy there. He's younger than me. He works out. Him and I have made eye contact a few times and done that. Like, hello. And then a couple of times done like, hey, but we've also gone like.
Is he jacked?
He's fit. I wouldn't say jacked.
I don't think he's either of the 2 gentlemen I'm talking about then.
But
my gym buddies are jacked.
Okay. And we've a couple times said, hey, how are you? But like we're both kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And then he came in the weight room today. I was doing a set. I ignored him. I was on my music. You can ignore people pretty good when you have headphones on. It's pretty.
Everyone has headphones on. That's why
he doesn't have headphones on.
Oh, that's weird.
He's weightlifting with his thoughts, which is probably why he's in shape. If I just weightlifted with my thoughts, I'd be there for hours.
Yeah, no, I don't do anything in my thoughts. We know this.
Yeah. So he eventually was just like, just turn to him and say hello. So I looked at him. He looked at me. Met eyes at the same time. And I went, how's it going at the same time? He went, what time is it? How's it going? 9 a.m. Okay.
He also doesn't bring a phone or a watch?
There's a phone watch or headphones on.
Who is this person? Who's this time traveler?
I don't know. I turned around and he was gone. He was on that machine where there's like a rubber belt and it shakes you. He was in black and white too.
I think you might have lifted too heavy.
Well, I lifted too heavy at 9 o'clock exactly because I checked my watch.
Wow.
But I was bringing it up because I don't know what made me think of this. When you do an outing where you're with other parents, it can be awkward. I specifically remember because it's so funny to me objectively now. You are in a mom's Facebook group.
Yeah.
And that mom's Facebook group so adorably attempted to make a dad's Facebook group.
God, what were we doing? Yeah.
So I joined it, and I think I had the same thought that every guy on there had. All right, I think I'm going to make this work. I think we're going to do this.
I'm going to make some friends.
And I was on there for a few weeks, almost every day, sometimes commenting, sometimes just reading, whatever. And there's quite a few active fellas there, but they made a get-together. This is many years ago. They made a get-together, just the dads.
Yeah.
I think maybe you moms were all away.
Maybe we all were. It might have been that time we went to the retreat. But also, I know that the mom specifically whose house it was away.
Okay, maybe that's all it was.
Because I think she was like, organize this and do this. This is one of those funny things where it's like, it reminds me of like how Dumb Dads was started, how we talk about sometimes how women have these big communities that they like, not to go away from your story, but how women have these big communities that we engage with, you know, and I'm not always good about it, but most women and moms, I feel like, do usually have like moms groups, mom friends, and whether or not we're still completely insulated sometimes, because we are.
Yeah.
We have resources, whereas like men are just like complete islands of dads typically.
Yeah.
And that was definitely one where it was like, lead a horse to water. Like all of us women like didn't just lead our horses, we dragged them to the water. And you guys still were like,
Well, here's why. It was this
is the face group in general.
The face group in general.
I think we all were like, my husband has also said he wants some dad friends, or he'd like a place to go where he can ask questions. And then like nobody did ask any questions and nobody became friends.
I don't think any of us said any of that. I think you assumed we wanted that.
Well, other people were saying their dads were asking for those.
Never asked for this.
Wow.
I was just like, sure, I'll check this out. And then I went to this event. God, it's so funny. I've never talked about this because this was several years ago. And it was...
I want to say it was like 7 years ago.
Might have been 7 years. It was pre-COVID, so I can't blame it on that.
Yeah.
But it was like so hilariously what nightmares are made of. Because went to this house, very nice house, and we all met. And it was the epitome of... at least for me. I'm going to speak for me. I'm not going to speak for the other dads. But it was just the epitome of just like small talk nightmare. Mm-hmm. It was just like going from circle to circle. I'm a niche fella. I like my superheroes. I like my Lord of the Rings stuff. I don't follow sports. I enjoy watching them, but I don't follow them. Mm-hmm. So it was just going from one circle going, oh no, they're talking about the Dodgers. Well, I can't leave. Just like you at the gym, can't leave right away.
Right.
I got to linger for a little bit.
Do I know anyone the Dodgers name?
Yeah.
I love that blue color.
And then somebody's like, and then I lie because I'm ashamed of myself instead of just owning it. And somebody's like, you watch... baseball at all? And I'm like, not as much as I like the kid. They're like, yeah, same. I was like, yeah, I haven't really been following it since I think 2003.
Since I was a kid.
Since the Red Sox won that one time. and anyway, and then you just go to a different group, and then you're just doing a lot of small talk about like the BS about like, oh, is that a good stroller? Do you like that stroller? Like, just like stuff nobody cares about.
Market.
Yeah. It was an absolute nightmare. I appreciate what they were doing, but I remember leaving that, and it was just like, oh my God, that was. Yeah. I don't think, and I think that's why guys can't do it. We're not good at it. Like it was.
I don't think it's just.
I think
guys.
Some of the guys were good at it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to speak
for
all the men.
I think it's just certain people.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to, I think that may have been the one time I'm part of a big giant Facebook group. Tons of moms. Some people know each other in real life. I don't know most of the people there in real life. And one year I went to this, they have like a retreat every year.
Yeah.
And it was definitely, I carpooled with 3 moms I didn't know. And I kind of just got like stuck with one for the weekend. I think she probably felt kind of stuck with me. Because we just didn't know anybody else. And I think both of us kind of like, we'll get to this retreat, we're going to meet a bunch of other people. And then like everywhere we went, we're like, yeah, nobody at that table really seemed to want to be friends with me. What are you doing later? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it was just one of those things where it was like cliques of people, whether they knew each other before or whatever, they all were like sort of with their people, and they were willing to like maybe engage with other people, but it was like they would engage with somebody that was like a friend of their friend. Yeah. Not just some woman who walked up, even though their whole thing and every year since they've been like, everyone's welcome. Please come. I promise you'll have a blast. And I was like, no, you won't. To be fair, though, I also like was pregnant in the moment, so I wasn't having even a single drink.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe if I could have a little
unwind a little bit. Yeah.
Might help me unwind and be a little less aware of what I think other people are thinking of me.
Did you have this thing? Because I specifically remember it from this moment. Not that it hasn't. It's definitely happened again. It's like when you go up to either a group or just one person, and it starts off great. Hi, how are you? And you're like, hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin. I'm so-and-so. And it's like, nice to meet you. And then they kind of, you attempt to say who your wife is. My wife's Annie LaFerrier. She
I hope you weren't there. Nobody knows me, so that wouldn't
yeah,
work.
nobody knows anybody, and but everybody was sharing their wives' names as if
Oh,
it was
okay.
like, oh, but it starts off excited,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just like, oh yeah, no, it's cool, this is great. Yeah, do you live near here? I live like it's like a 30-minute drive, and then you're talking about the highway, and then just like, yeah, it's not bad though. It's not, is your kid in school? My kid's on next year though. That's gonna be a whole thing, and then you're kind of there, and eventually it just kind of turns into, yeah, no, it's crazy.
The taper off is the
Taper off.
worst.
And then eventually you're just like, I should probably check on my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You know,
Yeah,
I wanted to get
no.
that cheese over there. I want to see what that cheese is all about. I'll be back.
There is nothing better than when you're at a twosome that isn't going well, and the third person just walks over. It's like a gift from God.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, especially when they know the
Kind
other
of
person.
drift away.
Hey, Greg. And he's like, oh, David, what's up, man? This is Greg. This is Dave. Oh, nice to meet you. You guys know each other. Oh, cool. Laugh for a couple minutes. They kind of start to ignore you. And then you go, I'm just going to check on my kids. Good to meet you. Nice to meet you, man. Good luck with school. All right. And then you're just going to walk away.
I remember at that retreat, I had we were playing games at one point, and I made everybody laugh. I don't even remember what game it was. Probably charades or something. I don't know. Probably not charades. It might have been. Anyway, I made everybody laugh, and I was like, oh my God, I think I just made all my best friends. Like, they think I'm really funny. And they did. They were all laughing very hard at me. I think I had another good round, laughed again.
Yeah.
And then the game ended, and it was like, all right, that was fun. And I was like, wait, no one wants to hang out. I was the funny. Do you remember the joke that I said?
Did you walk over to the fire pit later and then just be like, alligator mayonnaise? Remember that?
Anybody
Nobody?
remember? With any of my girls at the table over here? Huh?
Anyway.
Where's my charades heads? No? Okay. Well, when does this thing end? Tomorrow?
Yep.
Oh, God. Help me.
Can we leave right away? Oh, that's right. I got a ride. That
Yeah.
was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I would have rented a car had I known.
I think I only stayed one night. You had the option to stay two, but
Yeah.
making friends is hard, man. Making friends as an adult is no joke.
But how much of that, do you think it's just adults, or do you think it's kids and you lose your cool a little bit? Like your coolness, not like you get angry. You lose your coolness factor when you have kids because you're just kind of exposed and gross all the time.
I think you and I hang out too much, probably.
You and I hang out too much?
Yeah, I'm not used to people that aren't you. So if I make a joke and they don't laugh, I'm like, how to crush with Kevin.
That is...
I know exactly how to talk to you. You know, I don't know how to talk to other people.
It really is it's just a joke, but it's really making me think about all the videos I've made that haven't done well. And it's like, is it only because it's like me, Evan, and my wife
Laughed.
just yucking each other?
Oh, I worry about that all the time.
But it's funny because, again, in situations that's an old example. That story of the dad get together. I think it was probably 7 years ago. I think you're right. And anyone's since then are still kind of equally as awkward. But I feel like when I'm doing anything with my kids, I do have a bigger personality, and I don't know what that is.
What do you mean you have a bigger personality?
So today, our kids had baseball practice, and I'm the assistant coach.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because the second year I'm doing it, but I feel like last year I was pretty similar to it as well. And again, maybe it's partly because I'm also on the PTA, so I'm a very parent-facing, involved, whatever. But today, a parent walked up to me between practices, and I wasn't, and he just goes, "Hey, if I need an extra uniform, because I never got one, where could I get it?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. What team were you with?" Knowing I don't recognize you at all. I don't know who you are.
And you also don't work for our Parks and Rec. What are you?
Yeah.
Why? I'd be like,
because
I don't
somebody
know.
recognized me as the coach.
Call the Parks and Rec
Because I was the
department.
assistant. And they were like, "Oh, I'm on the Rockies, the team our daughter's on." I was like, "Oh, okay, you speak to that coach right there." Because it was between practices. And our son and our...
Oh, sure, you didn't know which.
For the listeners, our son and our daughter have back-to-back practices at the same field. It's perfect. We did the same thing last year. It's great. It's one practice at 5, the other practice at 6. It's beautiful.
But last year, it was the same coach for both
same
teams.
Coach.
It made sense what happened. This year, it was just blessings from above.
Yeah, it's great. So but I just feel like I'm way more confident in just talking to people. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like if it was a get together that not that somebody would approach me for a uniform, but like I'd just be like, oh, I don't know, man. I hope you figure that out. I'm scared to help you. I don't want to look you in the eye. I don't know. I feel like when I'm doing a parenting thing, I'm a PTA dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just real excited to
It's
get
real
in.
different than me. I'm like avoid eye contact, try not to get involved, mom. I don't go to the meetings, the PTA. I don't. I mean, the part of that's just I'm working, but
You can't.
even when I do, I feel like I'm standoffish in the worst way.
What's the best way to
I
be
don't
standoffish?
know. I don't know.
You wouldn't want to come over here. Are you Kevin's wife? Don't you do it.
No.
Your wife's creepy.
I'll be over here.
So how are you standoffish in the worst way?
Being
You
standoffish
just rip a tooth when they
stinks.
come over?
I don't know. No, I just don't. I don't know. I don't engage with people well. You have to really
You also don't
show
feel
me that you
obligated.
like me or want to be my friend for me to like feel comfortable like
Oh,
that you want to
no.
hang out with me. I feel like it probably comes off like I'm like my doesn't stink or I feel like I'm too good for people, but it's really just like extreme anxiety and just like not feeling like anybody probably wants to hang out, which is such a bummer, you know? I feel like my self-esteem is not that low, but
It's really sad.
it got sad.
I will say I've seen you in the wild.
Uh-huh.
I will say you don't come off like you don't stink. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean
standoffish though, I guess. I don't know. Like at baseball, I don't talk to anybody unless they talk to me first.
You're not.
But if you talk to me first, then I'll probably make an effort to talk to you again.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like shit don't stink is like you wear like those bug eye sunglasses and your head doesn't turn.
No, I guess it's not even really as like probably major as I'm making it sound. I just think if you don't speak to me first, I probably won't speak to you.
Fair.
Ever. Like our kids could be in the same classroom for like 15 years and I'd be like, I've never spoken to her, so I'm certainly not going to start now.
I have been on the best friend end of that with you, of you just being like, somebody walks by and you go, I feel so bad. I have like been waiting at pickup with her for like a month and I haven't said hi. Should I say hi? I was like, yeah, you probably. You probably should. And you're like, I'm not going to.
It's at this point, it's April. What am I going to try to make a friend?
Which is,
what am I going to be like? Now we haven't said hello. And after we've had the conversation about like feeling weird about not inviting people to our son's birthday party.
Yep.
And like how that felt and like how I felt like we should be inviting kids from the class, but it's so weird. And we wanted to have this small get together because we were all stressed out. Then two of our child's wonderful classmates brought him presents to school.
So sweet.
Something I have never done.
No.
Brought a present for a kid in my kid's class that didn't invite us to a party. I don't even understand the kindness.
And they wrote him a beautiful letter.
Wrote him sweet notes. I assume that he's just like these two kids must like go home and talk about him a lot. But like for both of their parents to like decide to go out and buy him something, both of them bought him the like perfect dinosaur gifts. I was like, are we just the worst?
A little bit.
How am I not friends with these two parents that decided to buy our son gifts?
We're a little bit the worst. And I can even make it worse.
One of the kids has been in class with them for 2 years now.
2 years. I know what you're talking about.
Don't know her mom at all, except for that moment when they passed us the present. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And it seems like she didn't even she didn't want to pass us the present. She gave it to the teacher, and the teacher made her do it by passing it back. I was like, I don't think that's how they wanted that to happen.
That's where I think you need to realize that more people are like us. That she's just like, I want to give this gift. I certainly don't want the small talk that was going to.
So I'm going to send it into the classroom with her. And
Please.
then instead, the teacher sent it back out the door with her.
She might not even send it to the classroom. Like the mom might have walked up to the teacher, was like, "Can you give this to
maybe
the LaFerrier kids' parents?" And they're just like, "They're right there." And she goes, "That's not what I said.
I don't want to speak to them.
That's not what I asked you." I will say, yeah, I think what made you feel worse was when we were walking over, like, they gave you this gift, and he's like, yeah. We're like, that's so nice. He's like, yeah, it's just my friend. I was like, that's so sweet. Well, when's her birthday? He's like, oh we missed
way
it.
Long
that
ago.
was a while
It was in
ago.
November.
I was like, okay.
Oh, darn it. Yeah, because the same thing actually happened last year. A little girl bought our kids presents, and we got lucky that her birthday was after. So
You feel bad you can't reciprocate, but you're also just like,
they don't expect that. That's not why they did it.
that's not why they did it.
I always have to burn that in that like most people are not expecting something reciprocally, and certainly in that circumstance I'm certain they're not, but I still am like, oh man, I hope you're in the same class again next year, because
I think it's one of those things where we are all, the heroes of our own story, whatever it is, the main character, and we forget to think that other people have lives and stuff, or their lives are mirroring our own anxiety. Because right before break, I forgot what one little boy's mom looks like, our son's friend. And at pickup, not our son, his friend walked up to me and he was like, "Can we please have a play date?" And I was like, "We can. Absolutely. You just need," I said it nicer than this. It's coming off really mean. But I was like, "We absolutely can. You just need to talk to your mom." I was like, "And we can absolutely do a play date."
she was like,
I'm
"I'm
all
right
good.
here."
She was right there. She looked like his sister. And
I should have told her that.
I just think that's a weird thing to say to women.
That's true. Probably shouldn't have told her that.
Oh, I guess your
Hey,
sister's
you look like
picking you up today. Madam, you look wonderful. Whatever you're doing, keep it
You're
up.
right. I'm glad you didn't say that.
But she goes, I have your number. Which is like, on one hand, in my 20s, if I was single, that'd offend me.
I have your number.
I have your number. There's a reason I haven't called yet. But in this case, it's like, great, because your son has begged me to hang out every day. And then I gave her the out I gave her last time. I was like, we can meet at a playground if you understandably don't trust me.
Yeah, don't know me at all. Don't want to come to my house.
Don't want to come to my house. I don't want you to come to my house, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hate you coming to my house. Father-in-law lives here. I have a dog who's friendly to no one.
No, I want you to come to my house. Here's the worst thing, though. I want you to come to my house. I want you to drop your kid off.
Go ahead. Finish it.
But that sounds horrible.
I don't.
And I understand why you never would, because I also never would. But like, that's ideally. I want you to come over. I want you to bring your kid. I want you to go have a day to yourself without having to take care of your kid. Yeah. And I will let my kid play with your kid, and I won't have to take care of my kid. I'll just have to make sure they're not hurting each other or doing anything they're not supposed to occasionally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'll let them play.
Yeah.
And both of us get a little bit of a free day. You get a very free day. And then my son looks at me like a superhero because I got his best friend to come over.
Yeah.
That's what I want to happen.
Kindergarten and first grade, our daughter had...
But I'm absolutely not dropping my kids off at anybody's house, so I get why people are not dropping their kids off at this stranger's house.
1,000%.
But wouldn't it be cool if we all did?
It would be cool if we all did.
We all just like trusted all of our friends, parents, and situations.
I went to kindergarten and first grade. Our daughter had two friends that we hung out a lot. We never went to one of their friends' house, but the other one, we would alternate between our house and their house.
Just because we're in the same neighborhood as the school. Yeah.
I loved it when they came to our house because it was a nice time of year and we always hung out in the backyard.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to come in the house. I could lock the dog up in the house and it was great. It worked out perfectly. Yeah. It was great because I would just set up a bouncy castle. They'd just play. We had shade. It was nice. It was great. We have here's I'll bring out some snacks and stuff. They don't have to come in my house, whatever. The times I had to go to their house, I was like, is this what it feels like for you? I hate this. I hate it so much.
At somebody else's house.
I hate being at someone else's house, and I feel like it feels a little. I don't know. I'm not a grown up because I just remember being there, and they're like, "Do you want like?" They would like get a bag of chips or something, like one of those like individual bags, and be like, "Do you want anything?" I was like, "I don't deserve food," and like I just like wouldn't eat.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, I know that you're not having me over to hang out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
you're having my kid over, and you're just like dealing with the fact that I'm here
because I don't trust you.
Right.
And this is a little bit of an investigation / play date.
Right.
Our kids are playing while I'm being like, is this a safe space? I don't know. And even if it was, I'm still probably not going to leave them alone in here. Mm-hmm. That's a me thing, and I'll work it out.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not.
Just overprotective.
So meeting at a playground is great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
But again, my point is, I get that mom who's being like, yeah, I got your number. Probably has things going on. Like we have stuff going on. We never hang out with anybody.
Yeah. And it's like a chore to figure out schedules. Like, when can we make this happen?
Yeah.
How and where. But we should get better about it. I know. And we should get better about being nice to people and talking to people and not being so standoffish. And not making weird jokes about, like, do I smell? You know?
Yeah, that's bad. I don't co-sign that.
Well, I tell you what, when I see him at the gym next time, I'm going to throw him the biggest peace sign.
Throw it up. Double.
I know I am, though. I'm gonna make a point to be like,
do duck lips.
Hi.
Duck lips, double peace sign.
Now I'm at a point where I have a certain number of friends at the gym. I say friends. They're just people that all say hello to me, but it's like almost a chore to be like, I gotta look around. Who do I know here? And I gotta say hi to. But I don't speak to anybody. I just go, hey, hi, good morning. Good morning.
So
Good
you're
morning. And then I start my workout.
at the point that the older members are at. There's like there's like elderly people
No,
that
but
are at
they
the gym.
chit chat. I don't chit chat. I just say hi.
Some of them do.
Oh, a lot of them they'll walk straight over to their friends, shake hands, chit chat.
Yes. Well, okay, let's make I was gonna say let's make a pledge to like talk to people more. We're not gonna do that. Let's just stay exactly who we are and accept what we are.
And just try to be better off the cuff.
And just be better. Just hey, let's start small. Let's just be better at the gym.
The minute I see this guy, next time I will say a good hello to.
You say, hi, I put on deodorant today. Antiperspirant, we're good.
Anyway.
Guys, if you haven't left us a review, please do so. We would love to read one. We haven't done one in a while. And then also somebody write in with a story or a question.
Yeah.
Something we'd love to read on the podcast. Rate and review this podcast, as we said. Please recommend it to a friend, a couple, parent, whoever. Your mom, your dad, if you talk to parents, if you're somebody who's outgoing, at your next awkward parent get-together, be like, how about that Overcommitted pod? Oh, you haven't heard? Something to talk about if you don't know what's going on with the Dodgers.
Check them out where? Check them out at Instagram or TikTok at Overcommitted Pod or at Annie LaFerrier or
at The Dumb Dads
or
at Kev Laugh.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for
Actually, we may take off next week.
And we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.